Yeah, in that same free agent period, Jack Campbell was signed to the Edmonton Oilers. Guess what happened to Jack Campbell last year? He was put on waivers, sent back to the AHL, stayed at the AHL the rest of the season, and was bought out. Now, do I think that that is the path that the Penguins are going to take with Tristan Jarry? I think that's unlikely. If you look forward to next summer, the buyout is one of three options that they have with this guy, but the buyout is 6 years. It is 1.7 million against the cap next year, and then it's 5 against the cap the year after that, 4.5 the year after that, and then 797,000 for 3 more years after that. I just don't see that being the route that Kyle Dubas ends up taking. The only two other options are you can trade Tristan Jarry, but we were starting to talk about this before the show. Is anybody willing to take that contract? And if not, your only other option is to play him. And I'm not sure that they're going to be able to sit there and kind of bite that bullet for the next 3 years. I think it's going to have to be take it a year at a time and then reassess what that buyout calculator is and where his game is. And if anybody is willing to take it with 2 years left at $5+ million, with 1 year left at $5+ million, or maybe if you finally get him to do a contract year and he hasn't completely sunk your organization, which again, I don't want to bury the guy. He has been good at times, just not this season, right? He got sent back to the minors because he was unplayable earlier in the year. And since then, he is 7-7-4 with an .891 save percentage. So not unplayable, but again, the reason the Penguins are doing this is because they think that they can still vie for a playoff spot. They just don't think they can do it with Tristan Jarry between the pipes.
Yeah, and as for teams that maybe might take him on, we discussed a couple months ago, I think it was now at this point, trading Tristan Jarry. Some of the teams that might be willing to take him on. Again, this was a couple months ago. I think we said something like the Blackhawks, maybe the Oilers, because Skinner was doing awfully to start the year. And there was another team in there that I'm forgetting. Maybe the Blue Jackets would have slipped in there because of
Vancouver their goal had some goaltender injuries happening that we always throw them in there because it's Vancouver.
And since then, all these teams have, like, the Blue Jackets have found footing. They're one of the most surprising and great stories of the NHL right now. I think we said the Sabres, but really they're fine between the net.
Colorado,
they figured it out. They didn't even bother with Jarry. The only team that still stands is the Blackhawks. And, I mean, they have the cap space to do it if they really wanted to. I mean, they're in sell mode, so maybe it's the only one that makes sense. But even then, it's what are they really doing? Are they actually going to take on Tristan Jarry in this situation for the next couple years and maybe find a different starting goalie? Are they going to be the ones that buy him out maybe? Because, again, they have the cap space and they're in sell mode, but also they're trying to be winners right away or winners very soon, especially with Connor Bedard out there. Another team I thought of was maybe the Ducks, but also they really like Lucas Dostal now. I mean,
they're stuck with John Gibson. They got a problem goalie contract of their own.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen. And not only that, the Ducks are another team that I think the Frank Vetrano deal is a sign of it. They're trying to win pretty quickly. They're trying to become a good team in the near future.
Yeah.
I don't know too many good teams that are going to look at, or teams that are trying to become good teams that will look at Jarry right now and go, yeah, maybe a change of scenery will help. The contract's just too much. The situation just isn't fitting. And I don't want to say he's ruined his reputation as a starting goalie in the NHL, but Kyle Dubas said he was looking for a trade this summer and couldn't find one. So it's not looking good for Jarry on other teams in the league at this price tag.
Yeah, it'd be a lot different if this was the first time Jarry wavered at all, and it just happened to be a season where everything fell off a cliff. Now, everything has fallen off a cliff because it has never been this level bad, but historically, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Once the calendar flips to January, historically, he's not the greatest goaltender. He doesn't do great when the lights are bright. He doesn't have good numbers when it comes to postseason hockey. He lost his starting job late last season when the team was vying for a playoff spot, his first year of a contract. Like, all of that combined is gonna throw up massive red flags for teams around the NHL. And because of that, at this moment, I don't think trading Tristan Jarry, unless another GM for some reason out of the goodness of their heart wants to bail out the Penguins, I don't see a trade happening